This is IPCR at 25 Media Chat, supported by Spring, Strengthening Peace and Resilience in Nigeria and the UK International Development UK.
Hello everyone, I'm super delighted to welcome you to the media chat of IPCR at 25 and of course to mark the 2025 International Day of Peace. On this conversation today, we have the DG of IPCR, Dr. Joseph Ochogwu. DG, good to have you again.
Thank you very much, Mercy. While you are super delighted, I think I'm super delighted that we are at the 25th anniversary of this Day for Peace and Conflict Resolution, as well as the 2025 International Day of Peace. Acting out for a very peaceful world. It's been a very long journey, a lot of challenges, but we got the glory for all the success and all the milestones we've been able to achieve as an institution in the last 25 years. We actually had a series of activities, events, from World Press Conference to the World, to creative dance and everything, lectures, awards and all that. It was a packed full of a program.
Even a mental health session.
And mental health session, absolutely, because you need the mental set, to be correct before you can begin to do any other thing.
Exactly.
So we had to add that, into the program as well. So it's a very good time.
Thank you. So guys, go to IPCR on any of the social media platforms or Peace Talk with Mercy and you get all the updates about how we marked the 2025 Peace Day and IPCR at 25. So today we are discussing peace in polarized nations, bridging Nigeria's South-North divide. So when you think about the North-South divide, what is your personal experience, your personal perception or take about it?
No, I think that it's simplistic for people to just think that human beings can come together and there will be division or diversity. Human beings by nature are diverse. And I've not seen any nation in this world that is not in any way diverse. The evolution of any nation state, in terms of the historical evolution of any nation state, you always find divergence of diversities of people and all that. What is important is actually how you manage this diversity and all that. So Nigeria is not an exception. The Americans fought civil war. The United Kingdom, as it is, even up to the late 80s, we were still bombing in islands. The Scottish people were still, the Welsh were still, everybody, you get the point. So when people talk about the North-Side divide in this country, or Christian religion and Christian Muslim divide and all that, to me, as far as I'm concerned, it's simplistic. It does not actually speak to the narrative of what Nigeria really is or what Nigeria should be. It's mundane primordial attachments by certain people, to try to advance their own primary objective, not the broader, wider goal, that is Nigerianness or what we need to do. And I'm going to ask you a question. Why is it that people from the north and the south, when they meet themselves outside Nigeria, they become closer and become one? So the point is, it's so simplistic, it's so selfish. And I think it's just in the negative nature of human nature, not in the positive side, to express those kind of things. But I think that there are a lot of things we need to do, to build up our federalism, to make sure that our federalism work, just like in other countries work. And that shows that we need to go through our constitution and try to ensure that some of the things that need to work, work properly.
Some kind of constitutional reviews ongoing. What do you propose, would address this particular problem?
No, I think the point is that we look at the areas where there are a lot of grievances and see the justification for those grievances and perhaps try to address those grievances, and all that. But I can tell you and I can assure you that even where you live only one tribe in one particular place, there will still be problems. The most difficult conflict in this world is the clan war. And clans are like brothers. And when they fight each other to finish. Yes. Check Umuleri Aguleri, Ife Modakeke. Check the clan war in Afghanistan, and some parts of Pakistan. Check even what is happening in Somalia. So it's the same kind of crisis. So even in family, I know siblings who are not talking to each other who are in court for the last 4 or 5 years. They are from the same womb. All of them came from the same womb. So what we are saying is that it takes a heart of understanding and tolerance, an approach of life to build consensus, build confidence and trust in one another. So just like it is in personal relationship, you can translate it also to national, intra-national kind of relationship with countries, and as well as international relations. So at times, individual personalities matters a lot on how they pursue togetherness, unity, diversity. The more atrocious and greedy an individual is, the more violent, prone, and divisive that particular person will be. The more tolerant and understanding a particular person is, the more peaceful oriented that person is going to be. So it's natural, just as it is with individuals, it is also with nation states.
It talks about building trusts. A lot of trusts have been eroded in this country. And how do you think leadership should carry on, in their leadership side to encourage national cohesion, to be able to, promote this unity that we're talking about?
I think that first and foremost, what binds us together first and foremost is our constitution. Our constitution is very explicit, in terms of the responsibility of the state as well as the responsibility and rights of the citizens. But what we have actually is the genuine, authentic operationalization of the spirit and the letters of our constitution, which has been lacking. So I think that we can hold on to our constitution while we are still doing constitutional review. What does this constitution actually provide for us? And then follow it to the letter. I'm going to cite a particular example to you and perhaps explain why Nigeria has been in where we are, and it seems as if nothing is working. The major problem we are facing actually is at the local government level. Yes, because the state governments are not allowing the local government to function properly. So there is no governance too difficult for people to even feel the direct benefits of governance. So people feel alienated, isolated, and excluded, from the governance process, and that becomes a challenge. And the local government is the number one point, for conflict prevention, conflict management, and conflict resolution. The local government is the front line for basic education, basic health, and even basic welfare. And they are not performing those roles at all. So people within this local government area are looking up to the state and looking up to Mr. President at the federal level. How can that kind of association work? So you have 774 local government and all of them are in deficits. And you think the 36 states or the federal government can make a world of difference? It's going to be difficult. And I've made a lot of pronouncements in different cycles that no matter the military and the policing and the intelligence and security approaches we put into this ground here, if our local government system does not work, we really have a long way to go.
So the autonomy right now for the local government is a way to go?
I think that first and foremost, we need to commend Mr. President for actually, with the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Justice, for going to the Supreme Court, to get a very clear interpretations for all these things. Because we've been having democracy for over 20 years now, and the local government have consistently been in deficits. And that is sincerely speaking why we are here. Because you do programs from the national level to the state level, it has to be domiciled in a particular local government, and then you domicile it there and everybody lives. And then nothing is happening. Grasses are overgrown in some of the local government area. Local government don't even have the human capacity to deliver some of these basic things again. So it's a very serious deficit, a serious challenge that we need to address. There's no human capacity there. Serious rural urban migration. Nobody finishes school as a graduate and says he's going to work in the local government headquarters again. Is that not a time bomb? And then high level rural unemployment in this local government area. The truth is that we cannot run like this and get any mileage. Because, for example, if the federal government is going to locate borehole services through the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, that particular borehole is going to be resident in the local government area. Then you finish, what is the sustainability clause for it? The sustainability clause will be after you build, you hand over to the local government for basic maintenance. And the local community. But once you build, after 1 year, the thing gets spoiled.
And you go back to the same problem.
Yes, and the same thing with basic primary health. The federal government, through the National Primary Health Development Agency, supply things to primary health care centers and all that. They are all located in local government area. Each local government is supposed to be having a general hospital, managed by the state. Then the federal government does the tertiary component of it, through teaching hospitals and all that. So if the primary health care is not working, then who are you going to blame? If the general hospital, the local government also is not being taken care of, who are you going to blame? So we need to do things differently actually to get the right results.
I agree with you completely. And we also
we must not think that it's the president alone that can do that thing. The president alone can never do that thing. That's the truth. The president is going
Yeah,
to
definitely.
We all along the line have to do our bit at the state, at the local government level. We all have to do our bit, and that's the truth.
Everyone has a role to play. It's what we say in peace building all the time, that everyone has a role to play. And having said this, it goes to say that the local government autonomy was really, really a progressive step by the present government. However, we need to ensure that the implementation, yes, is well done, and truly people in the grassroots can feel the impact of governance, and then it flows from there to the rest of the country. I know politics play a huge role in peace building. The last election, we saw in Lagos how the Igbos were being threatened just because of their influence on the election, and all of that narrative. We have another election coming up soon. How can we ensure that politicians don't write on this negative talk about bias to further their personal interest?
Politics also is a struggle of interest and over the allocation of resources. So, and the nature of politics we play in Nigeria is a politics of zero sum game. So the politics we play also define what we define, and all that. I think it is the development in Lagos State, we're watching it keenly, but I think the development in Lagos State is a clear case of in Nigeria, for example, there is this large problem over indigenous settler crisis, and our constitution also. That's why constitutional review is very important. Our constitution also didn't help matters where it says for you to be a minister, you must be an indigene of a particular place. So now, who is a settler, who is an indigene? That becomes problematic. So if I was born, for example, in Lagos, and Lagos is all that I know, but I'm from Benue, the law is saying I should go back to Benue, for me to be able to get a slot and all that. So those are some of the contradictions actually in the constitution that is reflecting actually in the politics around, not only in Lagos, even in places like Plateau, even Benue, you can reside in a particular local government. You say, no, your father does not come from this local government and all that. You need to go to your local government or go to your ward, to get certain allocations and all that. Those are things. I think that our democracy is still evolving. I mean, about 25 years or thereabout. So it's still evolving, and I can assure you that with time, all these things are going to be redressed. But I think that the political class have a lot to do. Agreeing with the realities of the time and understanding that no, we need to make the game differently, and there's no time on our side. Our politicians should also begin to behave like statesmen, because politics is different from being a statesman. Statesman is bridge building, nation building. Politics can be a bit divisive. You get the point. So our politicians need to be bridge builders, and bridge other people and all that. And I think that I want to advise you that different parties should be able to open up their space. You cannot shut your space for others and want to enter other people's space. It's not going to work that way, So it's a problem. So it's like, do unto me what you want me to do, and all that back and forth. So we need to be a bit realistic. We need to be a bit conciliatory. We need to be a bit engaging. For us to build trust and confidence, and make the nation a much more better place for us.
Very true. Thank you so much. And one of the stories I read is in Rwanda, they had to emphasize ethnicity as a point to build cohesion. After the war between the Tutsi and the Hutus, they had to emphasize ethnicity. Do you recommend that kind of thing for Nigeria? I
think that the evolutionary stage, the way Nigeria is going, we can take it gradually. Because there is this fear of dominance. That's the truth. By one group over another.
Exactly.
Either Christians over Muslims or Muslims over Christians. Over North, over South, over this or whatever. If you go to Meduguri, which is Borno itself, you'll find the same crisis between Borno South, Borno North, and you get the point. So there is no state you go. Particularly, for example, from Benue State. You can see what is happening between the Tea people and the Doma people, within that place there. You don't have certain opportunity to them because you are from one particular place. So we need to de-emphasize this spirit of dominance, because that is what generates grievances. And from grievances, frustration, and from frustration, violence. That's just the truth. So we need to have a very clear understanding. Your blood is not thicker or better than my blood. You get the point. And then if we want to run a merit-based society, then we run a merit-based society, and they know that we are running a merit-based society. And then we'll find the best from all over. The best from Argun, the best from Meduguri, the best from Gombe, the best from Dutse, the best from Kano, the best from Sokoto, the best from everywhere. If that is what we want to run, we'll run it and you write exams. And when you write exams, you come tops. It is very clear that the exam is transparent. And then we begin to build the society.
Anything to make Nigeria work, really, anything that is right, that would make us equal. That we don't have a country where someone seems to be better than the other, but we all have a sense of belonging in one way or the other.
We need to mention too that our constitution is very clear on that in terms of the equality of every Nigerian citizen and the rights of the Nigerian citizen. So it's the operation of the constitution that has a little challenge, and that is human-centered. It's not the constitution.
Like you said, we'll continue to work it. This is the final question. If you had the power to make just one change that would reduce polarization today, what would it be?
I think if I have such a power, is to de-emphasize religion and ethnicity.
I agree.
Yes, completely.
I agree with you completely.
And I will de-emphasize it one hand.
Thank you. I agree with you. So let's continue to see how everything plays out. All right. So Nigeria is 65. What is your message to Nigerians?
I think that at 65 years, Nigeria has grown to that stage. If you are adult, if you are a man. So now what we need to begin to work at is what is the legacy we're leaving behind for generations that are not even born now. So at 65, I think that is where our focus should be. So I think that we should be investing so much on infrastructure, so much growing the economy, to make sure that there is equal opportunity for people to access job opportunities and livelihoods, in different parts of the country. We should also open up new cities, to ensure that as the populations are increasing, also there are new cities where they can actually go. So and then infrastructure, water, good roads, electricity, schools, educations, and I think the good life. We owe the next generations that are coming a good life. That's the truth. We owe them a good life. We need to open up spaces. All the forests and places where all these bandits and whatever, we need to develop them and turn them into cities. New cities where people can be happy, people can work, people can go to school, clinics and everything, running water and all that. And I think that the federal government actually is working on that particular line of thinking. With the coastal roads that is being built from Lagos to Calabar. You can imagine the enormous opening of that virgin area, what might be happening in those places there. My opinion is that both the states, local government, and the federal government should ensure that there is rules, it's a rule base. Not people coming there to do their house close to the roads and all that. The same thing also from Lagos to Kano or Sokoto, those are opening up. And then the energy transition program that the government is doing, so energy transition to CNG, LNG, as well as solar electricity, and all that. Also the digital space also that is coming up and all that. So I think that we need to be very conscious, deliberate and intentional and invest heavily in these things to build the future for Nigeria. And it's a continuous thing, it's not something you stop at once, Any government that comes has to continue, right?
Thank you so much. So Nigeria at 65, a lot have been done. A whole lot needs to be done, but we need a peaceful environment to achieve that. And that is why we keep having these conversations. Thank you so much for being on this conversation today. Thank you so much, DG IPCR, Dr. Joseph Ochogwu.
Thank you, Mercy Peace.
Mercy for peace. People call me all kinds of mercy for peace, peace for mercy, mercy, peace, whatever. But it all goes to say we are here to ensure that we partner for peace. And thank you so much. I would always love to say that before we were any tribe or religion, we are first human beings. And that is where it starts from. That is where our unity starts from. Divided we fall, but united, definitely we would stand. So this is the IPCR at 25 Media Chat, and also in commemoration of the 2025 International Peace Day. This series is ongoing. This is just the start of it. So stay hooked, guys. We are here for peace. And thank you so much for watching this edition. Peace out.
Thank you. Peace.